I'm Roy Scott, and this is the CEO method. There are only three moves that matter. You create, you engage, you optimize. Master those three, and you don't just build a business, you build a life that compounds. Pray like it's all on God and work like it's all on you. This is the CEO method. Today, I'm handing you the non-dilutive playbook that nobody taught you. Pitch competitions, grants, free money, all hiding in plain sight. By the end, you'll never give up equity you didn't have to. So let's lock in, clear mind, clear heart, clear conscience. It's time to build. We start every episode with the CEO declaration, so we have a clear vision, a clear target. I declare that I am made in the image of my creator. Therefore, I am a creator. I will create my dream life through my thoughts, words, plans, and actions. I promise to engage and take immediate action, not putting off for tomorrow what can be done today. I will optimize my time, efforts, health, belief, and faith. I am the CEO of my life, destined for greatness, strong, bold, courageous, blessed by the best, walking into a glorious destiny. Hey, with the CEO method, again, this is all about creation. That is how we kick this thing off, right? Create, made in the image of our creator. We are called to create. This is when you're living in the highest alignment and highest version of yourself. So this is what I want you all to do. You have to, again, create the highest version of yourself in your mind, in your heart. If there was no boundaries, nothing stopping you, who would you be? A lot of the times in life, we face obstacles, we face adversity, and that sometimes makes us shrink back or makes us question or doubt or can even stop you. A lot of people quit. This is not what you're called to. You're called to face that adversity. You're called to overcome that obstacle. And you do this by really believing the highest version of yourself that you create in your mind. So, who is that? Who would you be? Once that's clear, you shoot for the moon. You be delusional with this. You have to really believe despite what you're seeing and feeling. This is what it means to live and walk by faith. That's again why everything that I'm teaching is based in the word of God, is based in truth. So we have the foundation. So this is not something we making up. This ain't something that's, you know, we pulling out of our hat. This is based in the foundation in the word of God. So when it comes to raising capital, another part of create, I got this out of the Think and Grow Rich book that I've read. And Think and Grow Rich is very important to read if you haven't or listened to it, because it's just that. It's all in the title. Think and Grow Rich. How you think as a man thinketh, this is what you become, right? So you need to think rich. It's okay to have money. It's okay to have nice things, right? But what truly is being rich or what is true wealth? What I've defined it as wisdom and health. So money is one thing, but real wealth is again being wise, having wisdom. It's being healthy, being in good health, right? So understanding that and knowing that it's okay to have money, to get money, to use it as a tool to help others and to build a legacy. So as you're raising capital, you put together what I call your money mantra. So this is clearly defining how much capital you want to raise, clearly defining how much you're giving up for that, if that's equity, and then clearly defining the plan of action. So, for example, with Healthy Hip Hop, I decided I was going to raise a $1 million pre-seed round, and I was going to give up 20% equity stake for that. So that's a $5 million valuation for the company, right? And the plan to get that was through pitch competitions, accelerators, fellowships, getting angel investors, my first VC venture capital, those institutional checks, right? And pitching nonstop, getting in the local ecosystem so they can see my face, they can know my story, they can know my company, they can know me. This was the clear plan. And that was how I successfully raised actually 1.2 million and a total of over 2 million when you're including the non-dilutive capital. So people a lot of the times like, what do you mean non-dilutive? That just means it's a grant. And there are grants for for-profit companies. So even on the nonprofit side, obviously you can get grants, but on the for-profit side, there's non-dilutive money. So there's money they inject into your company and there's no strings attached. Now there'll probably be some reporting. They want to see like, what were you using it for? Did you use it to develop technology, build out the team, make a key hire, add a new, product, whatever that is? There's just reporting, but there's no strings attached to that, right? So now once you have your money mantra and you have a clear plan, you start acting on that. And a big part of that money mantra is you have to repeat it daily, right? So you say, I'm raising $1 million. I'm raising it to 5 million valuation, et cetera, right? So another part of my money mantra that I speak daily is also to, again, Roy Scott, the person, the man, and also healthy hip hop and, the CEO method, life's a pitch, my businesses that I use to help other entrepreneurs and founders and just people in general, right? So I speak clearly. Listen, Roy Scott and healthy hip hop are household names. Roy Scott and healthy hip hop are positively impacting the lives of children and families across the globe. Roy Scott and healthy hip hop generate millions in revenue through the solicitation of our digital and physical products, coaching, courses, curriculum, live events, professional development. Roy Scott and Healthy Hip Hop are raising millions of dollars in exchange for equity stake in our company through philanthropic and social impact funds. So these are things that I've written down, memorized, and speak daily. I've been doing this for years, right? And it's matriculating over time. I'm building that compound interest and where these things are coming to life. Sometimes maybe not right on schedule, I think, but right on God's schedule and right on time. I've always made it happen, right? Just sometimes it's different routes than I anticipated. So you have to be flexible, be open, but really have that clear plan. But when things change, be able to adjust, be nimble. And I want to share, again, it's all about these stories, right, on my journey that I want to make sure that I'm clear with you all on. And my journey to that first million. And it started in a very unpredictable way. So as I was building the company, Healthy Hip Hop, it was primarily music. That's what I knew. We started finding success with schools. So we created curriculum. We did a lot of live events in schools. We knew that was going to be challenging to scale. At one point, we were doing over 300 shows a year. So that was schools, that was community events. That was working with organizations like the Royals in Kansas City. We worked with sports organizations across the country. I was doing birthday parties. We was doing it all, family. However, we were like, to scale this, we have to get in the technical space because I'm a non-technical founder. I didn't know about technology to start, but I knew we had to build some tech. And so that's when I started learning on that journey. However, in that process, we got selected to pitch on season 7 of Shark Tank and close the deal with Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, one of the hardest sharks to close. It was a $500,000 investment. At that time, we had a different business model. It was going to be purely for our kids' television product. Fast forward, our episode got blocked from airing and our deal got pulled off the table because ABC, the network that Shark Tank comes on, is owned by Disney, and they looked at our children's programming as competition. So Welcome to Hollywood is what we were told. They basically took a crap on us, right? Telling you this also about the resiliency side of this. That was a gut punch. You talk about from mountain highs to valley lows. More important than that investment, national television exposure, all of that was canned. So at that point, I had to make a choice like, all right, we just pack this thing up. It's a wrap. Or no, this is what God put in my heart. I know we're going to get there. This is actually validation. We're on to something special. But now this is a whole different route, right? $500,000 investment gone. National exposure gone. What I did at that time in Kansas City was I got in the local entrepreneurial ecosystem, started with Kaufman Fast Track, learned the fundamentals. Who is your customer? Who is your go-to-market strategy? Are you raising capital? If so, do you have your financials? Do you have your pitch decks, executive summaries, right? So I had to go through a lot of these fundamentals that I just wasn't aware of. We had the hustle, we had the grit, but we didn't have the blueprint. So went through that, which led to me securing over $100,000 in non-dilutive capital. Started with Digital Sandbox in Kansas City, which is still open, $25,000. It went from that to Launch KC, $50,000 non-dilutive investment. Lean Lab Education, $33,000 non-dilutive investment. Rainier Institute Challenge, a $20,000 non-dilutive investment. So this gave me non-dilutive grant capital to build the MVP, which then gave me validation to now go out and get into the TechStars accelerator in Atlanta, which then led me into getting institutional money from Collab Capital, Missouri Technology Corporation, et cetera. That was the journey, right? And so, listen, on this journey, it's very challenging. There's been a lot of dips, ebbs, and flows, but you have to stay focused, stay true to that vision in your heart. And sometimes you got to make the pivot. Hey, you feel me? So the in Optimize, the E, excuse me, in the CEO is engage. And so again, a big part of this, what did I do after we took a big loss? Or I want to call it a loss, a big learning curve, is I got in my local ecosystem. So your network is your net worth. You have to get active. And I practiced my pitch nonstop. We had just pitched on Shark Tank, so my storytelling game was already tight, but I had to keep pitching nonstop and refining this in a way that would make sense to institutional investors, that would make sense to angel investors, right? And also to engage and create those assets. So creating the executive summaries, creating the decks, the investor decks and the pitch decks, which are two different things. A lot of people get that part confused. The pitch deck is something you're going to use from that's mostly images, big font text that you're going to pitch from, right? So the focus is on you, and these are the images. The investor deck has more details, still not heavy on the writing, but something you send out, or that one-page executive summary. So this is how you engage. You immediately take that action, right? And that's what I did. Got in the local ecosystem, got networked, practiced my pitch nonstop, and then created the assets I needed to go and keep pitching and keep raising. Optimize. And again, this is where you have to go above and beyond and follow up strong. So a lot of the times when you're pitching or presenting yourself or even talking to customers, because this goes on both sides, you want to raise capital, but you also want to get to the revenue, and so your follow-up game has to be strong. So emails, text, social media posts, you have to be top of mind. So that way, okay, they're familiar. Oh, we remember, and also giving them updates on your traction. So the follow-up game has to be really strong. Another part of optimization is you have to be able to take feedback. You have to be coachable. You have to be able to take constructive criticism. Now, on the feedback, you do need to be selective because you get a lot and you have to see what's best for you, right? What works best. However, you have to be open to it. Speaking to being open to that and going above and beyond, I want to tell you a story about me pitching for Black Ambition. So, Black Ambition is a program led by Pharrell Williams, Felicia Hatcher. And once you get in as a semifinalist, you get access to a certain amount of opportunities. Then they select the finals that go on to the investment and the exclusive opportunities. So I made the semifinalists. We're excited. We're going in. And I didn't get selected as a finalist, which I was disappointed about. And also, you thinking about Pharrell Williams, his biggest record was Happy. That was a children and families record, right? So I'm like, we need records like Happy. We need artists like Pharrell, these fathers, grandfathers of the game in healthy hip hop. We need it in our exclusive ecosystem, right? For ownership, to grow, for awareness. However, we didn't advance. I was pretty upset. At that time, in that year they did it, they also did a summit alongside with the Black Ambition program. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the summit because they had a pull up and pitch competition. And at the pull up and pitch competition, you can win 20 grand potentially. Right? That was the grand prize. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go, I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna pitch. I did just that. I happened to be the last person they selected to pitch, went up, won it, got the 20,000, non-dilutive. Once again, we own this non-dilutive track. So it was basically a grand investment. And also there was a special surprise, introduction at the end where Pharrell came in. So got to meet and flick up with Pharrell Williams and Felicia Hatcher. So now they're familiar with me. They cut a check for $20,000 into healthy hip hop. And now I'm building. So again, that's how, when you go above and beyond, things happen. Like I could have just stopped right there. Like, you know what, man, we didn't get it. No, but I was like, no, listen, I'm gonna take this chance. I bet on me, and I end up winning, right? So that's what it's like when you're going above and beyond. So stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is just a lie we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. The calling comes before the confidence. That's how you know it's real. You move now and you grow on the way. This is the CEO method. So at the end of every episode, I'm definitely going to end it in prayer, but also have some really strong call to actions, because this isn't something you sit and listen, isn't passive. This is get the game and apply it, right? That's the only way you're going to continue to move forward and succeed. So I want you to write out your elevator pitch and practice it, 60 to 90 seconds. They call it an elevator pitch for a reason. This is like you getting on the elevator with somebody, you got 90 seconds to pitch a company and get on out about your business and hopefully get another meeting, right? So practice that. The other thing I want you to do is use AI to search for a funding opportunity, whatever your industry is. And I got a tool coming from this soon. However, whatever your industry is, put it in and say, listen, I'm searching for funding opportunities, XYZ, and search it and use AI to help also write that grant application. Now, you want to have a template. Don't do all of the writing, but you want to have the template and submit an application. So I would encourage you to write out the elevator pitch, search a funding opportunity, and put an application in this week. Don't wait. And also read James 1. So James, obviously my middle name is James, Mac James, y'all knew the old me. That James was one of my favorite books because it was my name. But James 1, it just says, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. And again, that's countercultural. Like we fall into trials that ain't joyous, right? But change how you're looking at things because it's all working out in your favor. So we're going to close this out in some prayer. This is a simple prayer to stay in alignment with God. Lord, bless the direction of my feet, the work of my hands, the intent of my heart, the words of my mouth, the listening of my ears, the vision of my eyes, the thoughts in my mind, all for your glory and for my good. Right here, right now, present in your presence. This is the true gift of life. We are blessed by the best. Hey, listen, man, I also do a song at the end of every joint, and want to remind you to join the CEO Method community. It's absolutely free. I'm giving a free game each week. I'm going to be giving out game on, like, again, fundraising. I'm going to be showing opportunities you can be applying for right now. Also, there's different assets in there, the Life's a Pitch online course, the digital products, the ebooks, et cetera, all giving you the game so you can push it forward, right? And so the song of choice is California Dreaming. And really behind this, you think about Southern California, even in the Bay, like just the hills, the beauty, like everything in California. You think about just the opportunity, the weather, all the good things, right? So this California Dreaming song actually was inspired a little bit by Nib too. You'll see I have like the original TMC joint on, the white outfit on there, and paying homage, and really just about and dreaming big and going for it, man. And just like the CEO method, like just really taking charge and becoming the CEO of your life, man. So check this out. Y'all know what time it is. We are blessed by the best, and this is the CEO method.
Don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream.
Stay woke.
Gotta grind and go get it by any means.
Go get it.
Look closer, everything ain't what it seems.
Take a good look.
I woke up to the sunshine and palm trees.
West Coast.
I'm just California dreaming. California dreaming. A rose grew from the cement.
Wow.
A rose grew from the cement. I'm just West Coast vibing, man, the boy grinding. They say pressure bust pipes, no, it makes diamonds. VVS shining, haters stand behind them. The mountain got steep, we just had to keep climbing. Finish the assignment, it's all about timing. They wanna be great, but they don't wanna put the time in. I'm focused, never mind them. It's like I'm on an island, surrounded by the sharks, and the waves are getting violent. Adjust to any climate. 10 man, where your heart at, you better find it. En route to a plus, gotta learn to take a minus. Finally seen the light, for so long I was blinded, and then I was reminded. Don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream.
Stay woke.
Gotta grind and go get it by any means.
Hustle, hustle.
seems, what it seems. I woke up to the sunshine and palm trees. I'm just California dreaming. California dreaming. A rose grew from the cement. A rose grew from the cement.